To the kitchen here today to talk about one of my very favorite things, whiskey, is Turner Moore. Turner, what do we got here?
Well, we're going to do a very condensed version of farm to bottle, how whiskey gets made.
Okay.
All right.
All right?
Yeah.
So ready to jump in?
Yes. Most of us are only familiar with the end product.
Right.
Maybe a little too familiar.
Well, every whiskey in the world comes from just 3 ingredients. Okay?
I didn't know that.
Grains, water, and yeast. And these grains are barley. They're perfectly edible. If you would like to sample some,
Oh,
you're
sure.
welcome to.
I've never eaten barley. Have you ever eaten barley?
Well, only when I have a whiskey.
Right. Tastes like grape nuts, essentially.
Okay.
And if you want to.
Sure,
I bet
sure.
they're good for
a little
you.
Oh, yeah.
cereal, breakfast cereal.
Okay.
Is this healthy with lots of vitamins?
It is. These
It
are
tastes like cereal.
Yeah, these are food grade. They come from a brewing supply company. So all whiskey is 3 ingredients. It starts with grains. Those are soaked in water. They're allowed to germinate. Germination is when the starches start to activate and become sugar. That's stopped at a certain point because if it's allowed to continue, it becomes a plant.
They'll grow.
Right, and then the plant is expending all its internal energy, which the distiller wants to capture. So those grains then are mixed with a hot water, and all the sugar is pulled out of them. That's called wort, W-O-R-T.
Okay.
The wort is then cooled down and added to yeast, and this is distiller's yeast. And what the yeast does is it consumes the sugar and produces
Whiskey.
alcohol. Alcohol is first. Close. So there's actually 3 byproducts: heat, carbon dioxide, and alcohol. So at this point, we essentially have a beer. Okay,
Okay.
it's about 6%, 6 to 8% alcohol.
But that's not going to cut it.
That's not going to cut it in our world.
Right.
So the next step, that beer gets put into generally a copper pot still. Okay, a still is an onion-shaped copper vessel. It's heated at the bottom, and as it heats up, the alcohol vapors evaporate first at about 72 degrees centigrade. So water, of course, boils at 100 degrees centigrade. So this is the next step. This is legal moonshine. In
Yeah.
Scotland, they
Ooh.
call it New Make Spirit.
Do people actually drink it at this stage?
A lot of bartenders use these in cocktails.
Okay.
So, and I've
Just to kick up a cocktail.
yeah.
This
So
could
This is
start a
the
fire.
moonshine?
it's
Yeah.
legal moonshine. In Scotland, it's called New Make. In the U.S.,
hot.
it's called White Dog.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's good.
It doesn't taste great.
I like
But
it.
I use it in tastings because it's the foundation of flavor. This is
Yeah.
an intermediate step.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
No one will be ordering a second glass of this.
No, you don't.
Not
That's
at
all
this
you
level.
need.
Exactly.
You can have mine too.
Okay, great, great.
Okay. So how does it go from there to the whiskey that we know?
Well, so what this has, it has got a lot of the grain flavor, but it has some unwanted flavors too. So at this point, the new make or the distillate goes into barrels. Okay?
Okay.
The barrels are generally charcoal, they're charred on the inside, and the charcoal is filtering out unwanted flavors. Okay? Just like any other charcoal. So that's the first thing it's doing. The second thing it's doing, the barrel, the wood has all kinds of little compounds in there that create flavors from coconut, butterscotch, vanilla, spices, and so forth. About 70%.
interesting.
And that's where you'll get your whiskey flavor profile is from the barrel and what kind of
Exactly.
wood and char you have
Exactly.
on that,
It
right?
has to be oak to be whiskey.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yep, it has to be an oak barrel.
And is this where we see the numbers on bottles is how many years it's been aged in the barrel at this point?
Exactly, in the
Okay.
barrel. So these are no age statement whiskeys from Aberlour. They're aged about 14 years. They don't publish that on the label. But if you have, a 10-year-old Scotch that you've had for 30 years, it's not a 40-year-old Scotch.
Sure.
It's
still a
10-year
Scotch.
Scotch.
So it's as
Gotcha.
long as it was in
Yeah,
the...
let's do the hard part.
So what I love about this is the Whiskey Obsession Festival, which I know is coming up next weekend, is a lot of education
It
as
is.
well. It isn't just an excuse to pour whiskey.
Right. It's not just a drink fest.
And you have classes and you have tastings as
Yep.
part of it.
Exactly. We have 3,500 people over about 4 days, all kinds of lunches, dinners, pairings. The distillers come in, and it really is a way to understand how all this gets
How
made.
great. You can still get information. You can go to the individual events throughout the day, or you could go to the entire festival. You can go to whiskeyobsessionfestival.com. I know there is also a big concert on the 14th that is free.
There's a free street party on
Yes.
Saturday the 14th with 4 great bands.
Will there be
Lemon
whiskey?
and Mint.
You'll want to check out the festival at
There'll be.
whiskeyobsessionfestival.com. Turner, thank you very much.
Cheers.
Brendan, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the new show and the new season at Urbanite. cheers to you. We're going to try our whiskey, and you take some time. Enjoy the Suncoast view.